Welcome, everyone, to another episode of AIME's Grow and Get It. I'm Tom Ahles, president of Growth within AIME. I get the honor and privilege today to have everybody knows who Jamie Cavanaugh is. Jamie out of California, part of our AIME leadership team too. But the one reason why I wanted to have Jamie here today, Jamie and I have talked numerous times over the year. As you know, she's a giver. She loves helping people. She loves creating an environment that's fueled by culture, doing the right thing. She's active in our community. But the one thing that I've always talked about with growth is right now is the time to be recruiting, right? To growing our company. Originations are down. But you know what? We did, for Edge, we did about 3 billion in 2021. We're going to do about 3 billion in 2022. So, to stay even with volume production, you have to add size. And Jamie, let's talk about that, right? I mean, Amerifund Home Loans, you and your partner, Brad, love Brad, by the way. We got to have a good time where we sat and talked over some cocktails at Fuse and just asking for tips and, hey, how are things going? And what I've seen is execution, right? You guys have grown and let's talk about that. Let's hear how it's been going.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, same thing. When you're in a really challenging market like we've been in this year, you got options. You can stand still, you can scale back, or you can just go full throttle. And that's what we decided to do. And the thing was, the decision was made last year because we knew this was coming. We've been in this business for decades. So we knew we were going to go full throttle last year and we planned accordingly. And so for us, it's been a really cool, really intentional growth. It's been paced. It's been slower than others intentionally. It's been about who we bring aboard, how they fit into our culture, where they fit into our culture, and making sure that our operational support is growing in proportion to the sales production so that we're not getting ahead of ourselves in either way, and that we're making sure that our service is always forefront, top of mind, never fails during this process.
Perfect. So we know the one thing that you know how to do is operations, right? And I want to dig into something a little different here, right? It might be outside of your comfort zone of what you're normally talking about, but you don't get to the point to where I think it was a year ago, you had maybe 10 heads and now you're close to 60, right? The initial conversations, like how or where are you finding the people that are saying, you know what, I want to go broker. I want to go broker now. And Amerifund Home Loans, I see the leadership. I like the culture. But a lot of it where I feel like a lot of our community is like, wow, where do I get started? Right? Let's talk about that. How are you finding the fresh talent that you're bringing into Amerifund Home Loans? Where are you finding them? How are those calls going? Who's making them? Give us a little bit of insight on that.
Yep. So one of the first things I did was I hired a business development manager who I'd known from years past. And I told her what the persona of the kind of loan originators and branch managers that we were looking for was. And I had her start mining LinkedIn. I had her start mining Facebook. I had her start using tools like Model Match and MMI to do reverse searches. And I took geographical areas. So we started with California because that's where we were. But then as we started a multi-state expansion into 23, 24 states, I started picking pockets of those areas where I knew there was a high concentration of retail companies. And we started looking at them. And then the market sort of helped us, right? Because companies like Finance of America started to go out of business on the retail side. And it was like, these are the opportunities to get in front of and start having conversations and educating retail loan originators on what wholesale and the broker community is about. Because there is a huge amount of misinformation out there and a lot of lack of knowledge out there about who we are and what we're about. And so when you actually get somebody on the phone and you start asking them questions and you listen, and listening is the key here. Listen, figure out what they know, what they don't know, what they're curious about, and what they think. And as soon as you get that, there is no way when you start telling them the truth about the wholesale community and you start doing a live pricing comparison, and honestly, that's really
it's embarrassing. And I think
You
it's
look
something
at it.
they're waiting for the carpet to be pulled out underneath them. Like, oh, okay, that's before comp. No, that's actually
No,
after comp. Our rates really are 0.5% better. And
yeah,
you're right. And I'll tell you from an outside perspective, what I've seen, Jamie, and the shift with you and your guys' team is you've been more visual, right? I think you naturally have a following because you like to help people. But I see the efforts being done not only from you and from your other teammates of putting it out there. Hey, we're looking to grow. Here's our culture. Here's what we do. Are you open to conversation? So I would say I actually saw this. I listened to the Housing Wire podcast that Anthony Casa just did, right? And I was listening to it and I was like, okay, we have the ability. There's a lot of people watching the brokers that are, I'll say, visual, and it's a choice to be visual. Then the one thing, and you and I have got the honor of doing a class together on learning how to be better public speakers with Renee Rodriguez. It was great. But I watched you take that into effect, and I see your videos that are out there that are publishing and saying, listen, we want to grow and we want to grow with the right people. But then, like you said, when you just shut up and listen for a little bit, like, tell me what problems you're having. Every retail originator we've been bringing on board, it's always the same thing. I know what they're going to say, but sometimes there's a reason I always say God gives us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Like, it needs to be used in that proportionate. Like, listen, what are the problems you're having? And then you're also going to hear and debunk myths, right? Wouldn't you say that's a lot of it? It's just putting proof behind debunking of those myths.
it's so true. And it's not just what I say, it's what I show. It's not just debunking the myths by saying, oh, well, that's not true. Let me show you why that isn't true. Let me show you the pricing. Let me show you the systems. Let you talk. I have offered, and a couple have taken me up on this offer. You can literally go to my website, go to my Meet the Team page, pick any operations or sales team member, anybody in my entire company, cold call them any day of the week, any time of the day. Ask them any question you want to ask them, anything. I am that confident that they're going to give you an answer that is going to make you feel confident that whatever you believe about the broker environment is not true. And that the culture I am telling you that we're building and we've built here is absolutely what we say that it is. And if it's not, let me know, because I'm going to be really, really
Yeah,
surprised.
you'll change it. I know how it goes. I mean, the truth is, the more that we get that message out there, right, that brokers are better. And it's like, okay, we've all been like, what does it mean? And we've done a really good job this year on making that phrase a little bit more cohesive, right? Well, we're better together. Okay, it's true, because I can tell you, like, for you and I, we both run different businesses, yet we probably talk a couple times a week, whether it's through business stuff or whatever. I guarantee you Loan Depot isn't talking to Chase or, to where it's like, hey, how can I help you win? Right. And I think that abundance mentality is why brokers are really starting to take more and more market share. So let's break this down. I'm a loan officer. I opened up my brand new mortgage brokerage, and it's just me and maybe one other employee. What would be the first step for them trying to scale that you could give our membership to say, hey, here's something to go out. Here's what you need to implement, whether it's tech stack, whether it's visibility. Give us just a quick roadmap on how our community can follow in the path of what you're doing right now.
You got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. And it is the tech stack. I mean, the tech stack doesn't have to be crazy. It can literally just be, do you have a point of sale and an LOS, even if it's all in one, that allows you to send out an app, get your documentation in, and get a loan through from A to Z? If you've got that, whatever that is, then if you are then visible and going out and recruiting other loan originators, you have a plan in place. For us, we had to have a very tight contract that we were ready to deliver to a loan originator when they said yes. Do you have a plan? Do you have a place for them to immediately send out applications, a contract for them to read and agree to that's clear, that they can understand, and a way for them, once they say yes, to immediately plug and play into your infrastructure? If you can't, then you're out there being visible without the ability to execute on what you're telling them you could do. So get your ducks in a row. It doesn't take long. Lean on anybody in our community who's done it. Me, you, any of us are happy to share what we know works. Go out, be visible, be consistent about your visibility. Consistency is key. And then go out there, bring on 1, bring on 2, bring on 5, bring on 10. And before you know it, you're building something.
Yep, 100%. I love it. And I'll just add one other thing because you touched on it. Once you have those things built, there's tools to help you hunt, right? It's just like if I'm trying to build my origination business, I can't just have all the systems in place and then everybody think that I'm great. you have to make phone calls. You have to work, right? So whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's MMI, which is an amazing partner with AIME, if it's Model Match that isn't a partner, but probably should be because I use it as well too. It's great. These are the tools to where before, as if I'm hunting real estate agents and I'm looking at MMI and saying, okay, I want the guy that's working with cross-country hellos because I know I blow the doors off their rates, my service is better. I'm doing the same thing now, and I know you are as well. I'm looking for the loan officers that work for those companies because they're being ripped off, right? And when you can give transparency with it and say, listen, whether it's me, whether it's Joe Blow Mortgage, I don't care. You need to see what wholesale really is, see the advancements in technology, see the ability for you to serve your clients with a reputable process, right? Something that's going to create a referable experience. Wholesale's finally doing that, and it's doing it more than just with one lender. I think UWM raised the game for a lot of our other lenders to, step it up with, dual click AUS and a lot of the technology tools. They've raised the bar for everyone else to where for us, small independent mortgage brokers are no longer small independent mortgage brokers. We're now taking big chunks of market share. In 2023 is the year to where if you're not following this path to grow, I get your head checked, right? I don't know how to tell you. It's ideal.
You're leaving opportunity on the floor. When you can look at a retail loan originator and explain to them, not only can you deliver better rates and better service and better options to your clients, but you can also earn more in a more supportive, better culture for yourself. There's not a point in this conversation where you're not better off. So it's not a hard conversation for any of us to have. And whether it's me, you, or any of our other amazing colleagues in this industry, there's a model in the broker world that's a fit for somebody. And so we just have to help them find that.
That's really it. So Jamie, thank you so much. I know we're just getting done celebrating the holidays. Hopefully everybody's enjoying this. Please tune in to some of our past episodes. We air this every Monday noon in our Brokers Are Better Facebook group. Or if you want to check out some of the old ones, visit our YouTube page at AIME National. We'll be here every week coming with new ideas. The key to everything, though, is execution. Jamie said it. You need some help? You don't have that business plan in place? Reach out to one of us, right? We're here to help you make sure 2023 is going to be the best year yet for brokers as we all continue to grow and get it. Jamie, I love you like a sister. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming on here. Hope you all have an amazing day, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.